I'm Raed Safadi, and I'm the Deputy Director of the Trade and Agricultural Directorate at the OECD. The OECD is an interdisciplinary, intergovernmental organization that groups together 34 member countries. We pride ourselves on focusing on evidence-based policy advice. So this is a critical element in the day-to-day work that we do within the Secretariat and together with the member and increasingly with non-member economies.
Great. And how does your organization use the global value chain framework?
I mean, we would like to think that the OECD was also at the avant-garde of the value chain, because we were the ones, together with the WTO, that came up with the Trade in Value Added database, which is a collaborative initiative, not just within the organization itself, involving statistics people working at the industry level, but also inter-organizational cooperation, be it with the WTO, be it with the WIOD, and everyone who's interested in that subject. And hence, we were able to create, as a result of a concerted effort, the Trade in Value Added database that is now a reference in the literature, and of course in the policy advice that we try to distill from it. Moving forward, our plans are to increase the industry specification, to increase the countries that are included in the database, and hopefully within the medium term to make the TIVA a critical part in the international statistical reporting. So as you look at the gross value, you look at the value added trade in the same manner.
Great. And so what are you learning here that you can take away and take back to the OECD?
For me, what is critical in this whole discussion is that global value chains have brought in the nexus of trade, investment, services, and know-how. So it's a multidisciplinary approach, and there is a critical need to look at actually the whole of supply chain rather than any parts of it. And that has implications for policy, cutting across not just the trade policy, but of course industrial policy, skills policies, the whole upgrading business. What does it take? What kind of a business environment? So it is not just about one policy area, learning and doing its work in silos, but actually how you do cross-sectoral work and cross-thematic work, so that you are not only talking about economic upgrading, but also social upgrading, and how to marry those two concepts together.
Exciting. So the last question, looking ahead over the next 3 to 5 years, what are the significant challenges that are most important for your organization as it handles changes in the global economy?
When you look at now at the landscape of the world economy, the challenges, in terms of the gap between actual and potential output, the role of what has happened at the macroeconomic front, at the fiscal front, and the demands that are being made on governments, to produce, to grow, and to have now more jobs and more job-rich growth. There is a critical aspect that will need a special focus, which is actually the structural reform agenda. And this structural reform agenda has payoffs that go from the short to medium to the long term. Whether you talk about the education sector, whether you talk about the macroeconomic framework, the doing business, as I just said before, and of course whatever structural reforms that will need to be introduced today, so that in the medium to long term we can close that gap between actual and potential output and create the jobs that everyone is looking for.